I think when it comes to lovemaking, it's not even about being the best. Sometimes the language that's been used in our culture around lovemaking, such as giving her an orgasm, or did you get some? Did you get laid? It's even the language itself encourages men to think that, all of these pleasurable experiences are something to take or give or get rather than collaborate and work together and rise together.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Himology. For those who don't know me, I'm Shari James, RN. I help men avoid ED medications, get off of them, or in some cases, get them to work with my holistic approach to healing erectile dysfunction. And today, I'm so excited. We have Deva here.
Thanks for having me, Shari.
I'm excited to talk to you. I
Me
always love
too.
a man with an accent.
Thanks. Yeah, it's an honor to be here, and just thank you for inviting me onto your show so we can share these important pieces of information with the world and everybody who's out there listening.
Yeah. And Deva is a sensual remembrance and embodiment coach.
Thank you
All
so much.
right. So let's dive in with the first wisdom bomb, which is tantric massage and the power of loving presence. I can't wait to hear your perspective on this.
Mm, thank you. So rather than talk about tantric massage as a whole, I thought I'd break down the elements which the people out there could maybe incorporate into their own lovemaking practices. So I'm just
Great.
going to deliver a few different points that are kind of learned from and gleaned from tantric massage that will help people to improve their lovemaking and their love life.
I,
So sorry, go ahead, Shari.
no, I love that you're going to approach it that way because I don't think people understand the difference between regular massage and tantra massage. So I love that you're going
Mhm.
to break it down for the audience.
Well, when offering a professional tantric massage, one of the main differences is that it incorporates all areas of the body. So when you think of a Swedish massage or a Thai massage, generally they'll avoid the genitals. And if we're constantly avoiding the genitals in these massage experiences, it's kind of signaling to the subconscious mind that they are left out for a reason, and maybe it associates with some kind of shame or religious programming around the genitals and how they can't be touched or something like that.
Mhm.
So tantric massage just incorporates all areas of the body so that we feel satisfied. Our whole body feels satisfied, and all parts of us feel taken care of. And at the end, we feel balanced, and everything feels included and loved and cared for. So that's the main difference between the two. And the
Absolutely.
things that I feel, yeah,
Yeah,
and the things that I feel,
you're taking me back to years ago when I first got trained in sensual massage, tantra massage. It was like this underground sorority of women, and it was like entering the temple, and they're like, "Yes, in Swedish massage, you want to get the blood flow here. In this style of
mm-hmm.
massage, you want to get it to the genitals." And I'm like, "Okay, like that makes sense."
Yeah. And did you go to a school? Or is it okay to ask that? Did you go to a school to study tantric massage, or did you study with someone one on one, or who was your mentor?
Let's call it the Los Angeles Underground.
Nice.
And
Well, there's actually. Oh, go ahead.
and then some with Margot and Nand as well up in Mill Valley.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I sat with Ananda Sarita and Modestus, who run Tantra Essence, and they offer actually a tantric massage course every year. It was one of the best gifts that I've ever given myself, and I'd highly recommend it if anyone's out there listening and they want to really step up their massage game, or they're even just
Well, let's
their
step up
connection with
their
their lovers.
massage game now because we've already said that we're
Yeah.
gonna honor the genitals. So what's the next
Mhm.
piece?
Well, before we go straight there, which is the tendency of all, or not to project, but a lot of times women mention that men focus straight on the genitals. So let's start, let's step back a little bit and start before that. And a really important thing to do before we start connecting intimately through touch is just to take a minute to sit in front of each other, maybe eye gazing, maybe eyes closed, take some deep breaths together, feel into what it's like to be in the space with each other, and to help both of our nervous systems come into regulation and calmness before any hands start touching anybody's. And that's one really valuable bite of wisdom that
Yeah.
comes from tantric massage, is that we
Co-regulation.
don't exactly, and we don't dive straight into physical touch. We come into the space together first, and we create a space, a calm, energetic space for us to drop into when we're starting to be sensual to our touch together. So that's something that I would really invite people into. And if maybe if someone doesn't know how to do that, there's a number of different ways you can do that. Maybe you could sit down together, imagine that there's a little bubble around you, fill that bubble full of whatever love and juicy intentions that you want for your time together, and then settle into the space of that juicy bubble of energy that you've created together. You can even just, breathe together, take some deep breaths and feel what it's like to be together in the space together. You could do some circular breathing if you're familiar with the microcosmic orbit. You can sit in yab yum together. You can do some circular breathing in and out of each other's bodies. Have you ever spoken about that on your podcast, Shari? Circular breathing?
No one has talked about that. I personally teach something different, but microcosmic orbit is excellent.
Yeah, yeah. So that's easy to find information about the microcosmic orbit online as well. So if anyone wants to find that, they can. But they're just some options of a short meditation that can be done to help people drop into the experience together. So that'd be the first step that I would recommend, or the first little bite of wisdom from tantric massage. Another part, as we spoke about at the beginning there, is just including the full body in the massage, not leaving any part of the body out. And as I mentioned earlier as well, that just helps to reprogram the subconscious mind that there is no private part of the body that needs to be hidden or treated any differently than any other part of the body. It's all part of an integrated whole, and each part can be loved and held and touched in the same way. And sometimes when people are starting out with intimate massage, because it's so filled with loving presence, there can be emotions that come to the surface when we touch different parts of the body. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, about the power of just being present and allowing them to be held. So they're the first two little beats. Now, to vary the levels of pressure and types of touch that you're using when connecting with your lover. So touch can be it doesn't even have to touch the body. It can be very, very close to the body, maybe brushing the hairs on the skin, maybe not even getting that low, just staying above the body so they can feel the presence of your hand, but there's no actual physical touch happening. And that can create a huge amount of anticipation, which is one of the things that research shows women love is anticipation. So to hold the arm, yeah, the hand just above the skin is one way to do that. And then when touch begins on the body, it doesn't have to be a consistent, deep tissue massage or anything like that. It can go from feather-like touch. We can use different things like a sarong, a blanket, a feather, all different types of beautiful soft implements to brush the skin and touch the body. And there can also be some passionate, yummy touch, where someone's grabbing the other person's skin and kind of emulating what might happen during lovemaking. But to to just be aware always as the giver's hand is touching the receiver, not for what the giver wants to get from the receiver, but how is the receiver feeling about receiving this touch? And varying in between one type of touch and another type of touch can create a sense of anticipation, which also encourages arousal. So if we do the same thing all the time, it can be very predictable. But to vary it, it can be really, really helpful in creating anticipation. Sorry, Shari, go ahead.
I love that you're framing that as the focus is on the receiver and the responsiveness of the receiver. That's what I heard you say in my brain
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you're a rare specimen. There's not a lot of guys who can do this safely with women. And
Mm-hmm.
how do I want to say this? My thing with being a sexual healer for like 30 freaking years now is as soon as I make it about me, I'm not a healer, right? So that's what you
Mm-hmm.
just said, right? You make
Mm-hmm.
it about the other person, and that is the key. When you take the little blue pill for erectile dysfunction, you are a customer for life. When you work with me, you're a client for 3 months, and we actually heal it. The choice is yours. Sign up for your free video consultation.
Yeah, yeah, fully advocating for that. And also just, I want to also just share because I like to speak towards the future that's being created. Although in the past, because of the patriarchy and the programming that came from pornography and all these things, it has been the case in the past that men have been more focused on what they're getting than what they're giving. But I really feel that there's a huge movement happening in this moment. Courses being made online. I'm in the process of making some as well. All these different types of resources that men can access that's helping them to shift their consciousness around that and helping them to understand that, to honor and respect the divine in the woman that they're with and really worship her as the goddess that she is. So hopefully we're moving forward into the world where that becomes less and less the case. Um,
Absolutely.
uh,
And as a female, one of the best gifts a woman can receive from a man is his presence.
mm,
That is, to
yeah,
me, that is the gift of the masculine, is a strong, present man.
mm, yeah, I hear you, love. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we're in full presence as well, we're really connecting to the energy of the exchange of the passion and the love making that we're sharing. And it's even more arousing because we're so present in the energy of it.
Yeah. And then men
So,
get to win. And no matter what, men love to win, right?
yes, there's a competitive nature for sure. So it's so bad. But yeah, I think when it comes to love making, it's not even about being the best. Sometimes the language that's been used in our culture around lovemaking, such as giving her an orgasm, or did you get some? Did you get laid? It's even the language itself encourages men to think that, all of these pleasurable experiences are something to take or give or get rather than collaborate and work
Mm.
together and rise together. So I really hope that we can also start to change just how we speak about these experiences so that it
Yeah.
sends messages into the minds of men that this isn't them acting out on something on somebody else, that it's two divine beings coming together to create the most pleasurable experience imaginable. So,
Yeah, we want to take the predatorial ego gratification
mhm.
out of it, right? Because we're entering the new earth. We're creating a new paradigm. So definitely language will be changing around what's being created.
Yes, yes,
So
I hope.
far, right? So far we have just to recap, so far we have connecting eye to eye, face to face, getting in tune with each other's bodies and breath. So we've got co-regulation to relax the nervous system, create safety, and then different types of touch and pressure and maybe even energetic touch and seeing how the receiver responds to that. We have honoring the genital region of the body as well. So it's a whole body massage. Do I have that all correct, or did you have one more layer you wanted to add on?
Yes, if it's okay, if we can briefly add one more layer. That's
We
an
can.
important part of it, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once we reach the genitals, ideally we want to do the whole body first, but once we reach the genitals, to not stay there and remain focused in that location all the time.
Yes.
Lovemaking can be a beautiful wave that kind of goes like this. First wave of pleasure, second wave of pleasure, third wave of pleasure. But if we stay focused on the genitals the whole time, it can lead to numbness or just a lack of like a desensitization.
Yes.
So to take little moments to globalize the energy. So if we're focused on the genitals for a moment, and to move our hands all up around the body, spread the energy around, and make sure that there's another layer of anticipation being created for when we return
Teasing.
to the genitals. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then the most important part, Sherry, as well, to just show up. And when we start to receive love in this way, that maybe our inner child, these gentle touches that our inner child have been yearning for their entire lives, or just when our genitals are touched in a loving way, our yoni and our lingam, then it can also bring emotions to the surface. And just to help all the men of the world to reprogram the idea that sex is this thing that happens in, like it is in a movie, passionate foreplay, sex, which is in, out, in, out, in, out, and then orgasm, and then that's it. And that's the whole thing about lovemaking. When we really get deep into the connection and the tenderness and the care and the respect of the other person, sometimes tears come to the surface. Sometimes frustration comes to the surface from past experiences. And all of those emotions are welcome. The container of sexuality can be this medicinal experience that really helps us to heal. And if our partners begin to cry, begin to get angry, or any of those things, to just be present and loving with them as they experience those emotions, to be there as as the divine masculine with a regulated nervous system, just allowing our partners to feel and experience the emotions that need to be felt, not to get scared, just to let it happen, let it come, let it pass. And that can be a deeply, deeply healing experience for everyone involved. Thank you, Shari.
I 100% agree. So safe to say that this is a form of medicine.
Yes, I agree. It's a heightened state of consciousness similar to a psychedelic state. And, people are using psychedelics these days to also heal, but lovemaking itself can be the medicine. The container of lovemaking can help with deep emotional healing.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you. Hey, you. Hey, guy, who's learning about sexual health, mixed in with some Tantra, mixed in with some 5 elements of Chinese medicine and some Western medicine. I want to let you know something. I would love it if you would hit my subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, you're going to know when new content is posted every Friday.